It was a long time ago. It was February of 2024 when he did it, but he wasn't playing with Heroic at that time. It was the Nouns Xtreme matchup.
You want to know the win rate of Yuma's Meepo?
I know the answer. I was just looking, but I'll let you... What
it
is
is
the win
very nice. He's sitting at 69% win rate on the hero. Last time he played it, he did lose actually last 3 times he played it, but he also played it 4 months ago. So we'll see how that's going to affect Meepo, because some of the Meepo changes that did happen, it is nothing too crazy. Maybe I'll need to shut up because they are holding the high ground right now.
No, you can keep going.
So yeah, in the end, he did go for more Meepo facet. We did have prime attributes for clones factor from 0.85 to 0.9, so a little bit of a buff. His base armor has been decreased in 739. Ame is very dead here. Let's see who gets it. KJ, not sure if they wanted to give last hit to KJ, but they did somehow.
Probably wasn't intended, but this is how it went back in that February matchup that I recall with Ame and Yuma, where they really just beat up Ame to a pulp. I mean, it was a game in which Ame went 0-11-1. And that was, I think, Jug.
This is a good way to replicate it. Good start for Ame.
What, to replicate it? It's a good start for Ame?
Yeah, he started early.
I guess so.
I love the build on Axe. Love this Sauron build with triple Ring of Protection into Mango. So he wants to have extra bit of regen. Axe doesn't use that much mana. Battle Hunger is only 50 mana.
We've seen the 1-2 build from Axe.
Oh, no, his courier is going to die. Okay. I was worried there because Cofield did have Boots of Speed on the courier. I assume they want to be pulling this bottom wave closer to the tower, seeing that they are playing 2 melee heroes into Nature's Prophet. There's going to be a good amount of harassment. It is still a very good lane for Doom. There's going to be quite a lot of harassment, and Doom is a super strong laner. I'm just thinking this last pick overall for Xtreme Gaming, why did they decide to go for Darkseer? It is a lot of damage over time. If you combine that with Radiance, that might be it, where you have this Giga guy, you have this Giga Doom that does have insane amount of damage. You're building into Radiance, something that Meepo doesn't like to play into. He's definitely not a Bloodthorn. Maybe later he can buy into the item, but definitely doesn't build an MKB or anything alike. He wants to build the stat items.
And usually it's a significantly quick Radiance, right? You go into that Midas, and you sell Midas, get Radiance. It's a decent timing. And I think as long as you have that, you should feel pretty good. But this is the combo that is a little bit worrisome. With the Surge, XXS is able to escape. But Cold Feet coming in with the Earthbind of the Meepo can make things pretty rough. And Schofield dying to Ame. So now he's changed what happened since that February matchup where he went 0-11. He has a kill in this game. Always good to get on the board as Doom, but not something you really want to do if you're Heroic, giving them quicker gold. We'll see how Yuma plays this Meepo. Like you said, 69% win rate with this Meepo is something to be very concerned about if you are Xtreme.
It is a very good Meepo game. Like, Panel talked about the interaction with the Doom, which is always going to be nice. And also against all of these heroes, against Nature's Prophet, Shadow Shaman, you keep them in place. Very bad matchup for Storm Spirit. Very bad matchup for Darkseer as well. You're not going to be getting the value out of Surge. Creating Meepo clone is also not like the most insane thing to do. Poloson looks like he's in trouble. Ooh, those cogs actually puts him in. Very nicely done by Schofield.
Some body blocks into a call, and Whisper doesn't have a lot of health, but the battery assault and the body blocks with the call all locking up Ame while he's got the battle hunger on him, and Whisper's got a double kill. I don't think that they were really expecting that when they pushed it up, and Poloson comes back into the lane, but Whisper's gone south. This is
like
Whisper,
he wants to deny himself.
Sacking to the tower, but KJ, meanwhile, getting a kill onto XXS. Ame actually gets credit for the Whisper kill. And again, Cold Feet with the Earthbind. You try to run, but you do freeze over. It's almost guaranteed. And when you've got the second net, you have to get Surge, but this is just a devastating lane for the side of Xtreme.
Yeah, not an easy lane by any means. And also some of these heroes did get countered because you're playing Shadow Shaman against Axe. You can just dunk him. His foul play is not going to trigger. Even Ancient Apparition ulti, like, you're still got a Shatter. So there's a lot of things that people, I would say, try to theory craft how to deal with this Shadow Shaman, because the hero has been highly contested in the last couple of months.
Shadow Shaman very strong when given the chance to kind of just get those long duration shackles off. We've seen Nature's Prophet be annoying as well, a hero that can
top lane
scale.
Again.
But top lane, Meepo working on getting this kill in XXS, but again, they've got the Surge, and it's a pretty long cooldown in 24 seconds. If they can catch him without that Surge, they certainly will get a kill. KJ not going into the Ice Vortex for now, just Cold Feet and the Chilling Touch. Just Arcane Boots for him. Everything considered, it's a good start for Heroic. Mid lane, pretty even overall. Analog's doing a good job here up against XM. XM's going to have to be a big part of really opening up the map. Maybe they get a little bit of control advantage when he ball lightnings and vortexes over, maybe to help Ame over bottom, but they have set up with KJ coming towards mid. It's a bit early for that 6-minute power rune. Wilson's even going to rotate on this and block KJ from leaving with that Sprout. Cold Feet, he'll freeze over, and Analog just won't dive the lane, and Schofield's here too, but there's not much they could do to this Storm Spirit.
Heroic wanted to play a bit more aggressive, try to utilize this pre-level 6 on Storm Spirit to try to grab the kill. We saw this matchup yesterday, Monkey King against Storm Spirit. It is still favored for Monkey King, but speaking of rotations, they did make one in the bottom lane. Don't get anything out of it. Doom is super tanky. Doom did get nerfed. His strength gain did get nerfed in the previous patch, which was definitely necessary. A lot of these heroes that are currently played do have like 4.0 strength gain for whatever reason.
Well, midnight patch for us. Popping up, coming into today. Polison's gonna die to Whisper. That's actually by the tier 2 tower. XM caught within the cogs, but he's got that ball lightning. Boundless Strike still under the tower. 3 heroes here for Heroic. Not much that the Shadow Shaman can do, but that was a solo kill for Whisper. A little bit of a surprise there, but he's playing behind the enemy lines, and he's by that tier 2 tower, gets that catch, and now they're going to smoke up. They're going to go towards top. They want to try and kill off XXS. Maybe they find Jinku within this triangle, but they're also just trying to contest mostly this Wisdom Shrine, and so they'll see XXS, and we'll see if there's any rotations that come from the side of Xtreme, because there are 3 heroes.
And they're also using the scan on the other side, knowing that there is somebody there, most likely Whisper. Nature's Prophet was thinking about TPing there, but in the end, they will get the XP rune. 2 supports were still not high level pre-XP rune. Now Clockwork is level 4, and so is Ancient Apparition. On the other side, they actually have more XP, especially Shadow Shaman, who's very close to level 5. Whisper playing a bit aggressive, thinking maybe he can get a dunk off.
Now they'll have the Sprout. They throw the Blood Grenade, but they just don't have the Shadow Shaman to catch up to this Axe. The rotation and maybe a chance at a kill kind of passes by Xtreme in the bottom lane. Not exactly the cleanest DOTA from Xtreme so far. Kind of relying on Doom, get into that Radiance, use that Midas eventually to lose those Gloves of Haste inside the Courier that was killed by Axe, but they still might get Whisper. He gets away from Jinku again, and it's just too speedy. Oh, one more right click?
He has a lot of armor.
Not enough for that damage. Pretty deep here.
Let's see, this is Whisper. He wants to go in. He wants to dunk him. But if he gets the shackle off, this might be the problem. Whisper, he knows.
He's got a lot of health now, and under the tower, the Boundless Strike.
Dunk him.
And that will be a kill for Heroic. This Shadow Shaman in way too deep. Again, just a over-aggressive, overzealous play from Xtreme. Bit of a surprise. Both these teams at 2-2, so there's been some struggles on the road here. They're gonna go for Yuma. They drop down this wall, and Yuma caught. They've got the Vortex. They have the extra control to take out this Meepo, and something they desperately need to do. Meepo, one of those heroes that can farm very quickly, very early.
Yep, nicely done. Getting a kill, slowing Meepo down. Every single time you can kill Meepo, he is suffering more than other heroes. This is not like the most insane late-game hero by any means. It's all about the tempo, taking your objectives, having Roshan be the one that is controlling the tempo of the game with the Aegis. Except doesn't have much mana to work with. Does have Soul Ring, though. King Jungle's only level 4 here.
Analog looking for the Wukong's Boundless Strike on a 2. They will find XM and get a kill there onto the Storm Spirit with Yuma coming back into the mix. Heroic, they'll get one right back, and it's more gold for the Meepo. Ooh, finding another. They do not get the cogs around the Shadow Shaman. Analog still here, has the help from Yuma. They'll have Chilling Touch, and everybody in to get this kill. They'll take a second, and it's KJ getting another kill under his belt.
This is the big timing for Heroic. Meepo just got his Diffusal Blade. Once he gets that third Meepo, it's going to be a lot of farming happening for him, but also he should be able to get some extra ganks going on the map. We saw him trying to be aggressive, go through the Twin Gates, try to gank Doom relatively early on. The one who is struggling slightly more is, I would say, Whisper, because he's at the bottom, but there's a big stack that he's about to farm. That's going to give him a good chunk of gold, unless Monkey King decides to steal some of the creeps.
A lot of stacks made by Heroic, doubling the stack number of Xtreme. Things have been going well. You'll have this Midas now, though, for Ame. He'll be working towards that Radiance. It's timing he's definitely going to need to try and have to keep, because this is a Meepo that can get really out of control quickly. Even with that kill over top, where they slowed him down for a moment, he got it right back. He's top of the net worth only by 200, but Yuma is definitely one of the most proficient Meepos. And he really knows how to effectively farm.
Yeah, they'll probably wait until Monkey King gets to his first item, which is going to be Mage Slayer, great against Storm, great against Darkseer, Radiance. There's a good amount of magic damage on their side, but also wait until Axe gets his Blink Dagger, which Whisper is trying to farm up in the jungle. Still needs a good amount of time. He needs another 2-3 minutes.
3 minutes faster on that Blade Mail. Phase Blade Mail going Blink. Ice Blast, and that's set up with the cogs. This is an easy one on XXS. That's the combo. That Ice Blast gonna make these kills much easier.
They have very good setup for Ice Blast. They are Meepo, Monkey with the Boundless Strike, Clockwork Hookshot with the cogs, Axe Call. Very easy and simple. Yuma thinking about going into the mid lane. Gonna defend the tower. This hero is very good against Shadow Shaman wards. Can easily clean them up.
Would you have rathered Giga Ward instead, or is this a good game for Chicken Fingers?
I guess they wanted to put slightly more pressure in the lane, thinking that the lane is going to be easier. But I guess when you don't play against Meepo for quite some time, you do forget how strong the hero is.
Finally picks up those arcane boots, and now everybody for Xtreme has hit that level 6 mark. Experience favoring Heroic by about 2 levels worth. But the net worth sitting pretty close right now, and I'm taking a look at the win probability. It's 50-50. Definitely feels like a toss-up.
Yeah, because we don't know. We haven't seen Meepo in such a long time that Gaimin decided to be like, you know what, we're just going to say 50-50 at this moment. Meepo is going to get pretty much a solo kill. Rocket did hit him, scout him out.
And they've smoked towards bottom. They show Yuma, they kind of make you feel comfortable over on the other side of the map, but at the same time, Ame now getting chased, pops that Scorched Earth, Balance Strike connects, that means Hookshot and Ice Blast are ready to go, and that's how easy it is for Heroic. Nothing has really been put together well for the side of Xtreme, and this is Heroic putting everything that they have to throw at these heroes on Xtreme and making it work and making it look easy.
Meepo's farming on the other side of the map, controlling one Meepo, making sure that he is also getting stuff done around the map, getting those kills. This is going to be a very good timing onto that Aghanim Scepter. We probably won't even have any stats whatsoever how fast that Aghanim Scepter is on Meepo, because there are no stats available.
I'll tell you one thing, it will be the fastest record breaker for the patch. I think that Diffusal might have been the quickest too. XM, we really haven't felt his presence. He's bottom of the cores in net worth. It's been a tough struggle for him. Monkey King happy to just go for this Mage Slayer, wanting that shard afterwards. Definitely doesn't have to be the carry for this game, where it's definitely going to be Yuma on the Meepo taking care of business in this one. They've got the blink for Axe, so you have that long-range initiation if you want it with the hook shot. You have blink initiation from the Axe. Monkey King can start with a balanced strike. He's getting that shard, so he can jump into the fight as well if need be. There's so many ways to get into the fight for Heroic, and the pickoffs are just so easy when you've got Ice Blast that just makes sure that these targets...
If they lock onto a target, the target should die.
The question just becomes if they have anything after that. If there's a way for Xtreme to kind of back away and reset and then come back in, will Heroic have anything if they have no Ice Blast, no hook shot, and they've already blink called?
Oh, they got a big one.
Again, Ame is going to get caught. Balanced strike, they don't even use the Ice Blast, and Doom's dead again.
Xtreme Gaming will try to make something happen on different sides of the map. Maybe lose one hero, but also try to get to the next items. Because I see Darkseer, he is having his pipe being delivered. They also want to sell this Midas, get to the Radiance as soon as possible. Try to delay the game pretty much, knowing that Doom is such an insane hero in the late game, and so is Storm Spirit, and these are the type of kills that they need to get.
Whisper's dead. Cold Feet on Pelosin. Ice Blast comes through, misses on XM. But they got a 2 for 2 so far if you include Ame, and this is, you know, without the initial jumps, a way that Xtreme can come back into the game. They get 3 kills. They finish off with KJ.
Ooh,
good gold for XM.
Finds a really nice spot to TP out.
Really like what Xtreme wanted there. After the initiation was used by Heroic, they're willing to still fight, knowing that they just cannot sit back and farm while Meepo takes over the map.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Ame's now got this Radiance, and he's going to go BKB. Sometimes we see the Midas re-picked up, but it's BKB now for the Doom.
It does feel like he needs it straight away, even though there is good amount of spells that go through debuff immunity. Ancient Apparition ulti, Clockwork, Call. Quite a lot of things, actually. But still wants to have extra magic resistance, and also wants to be able to maybe move slightly more, find the right target. Go for Doom on this Monkey King, maybe Doom Axe as well, because I don't think he's going to be dooming Meepo, especially with the Mega Meepo now available. And what level is he? Level 13 on Meepo. Doom is also pretty much the same level, level 12 at the moment. You want to stay the highest level as Doom because of your innate ability, Level Pain, where you deal 25% bonus damage to the heroes whose level is lower than Doom.
Currently everybody but Meepo. And actually Axe about to be level 13. Whisper getting ahead, finding XM, bring over the rest of the Meepos. Just needs to be able to leave, trying to survive to get the ball. Lightning gets that distance, just surviving there. Like 5 health.
Ooh, Essence Ring making the difference there. Oh, Rocket also missed. Oh my god, he was so close. Missed by an inch, basically.
GQ caught. XXS is here. Not really much you can do unless they want to fight, but Whisper's also shown up. Cold Feet. GQ not exactly going to die back quick, so they do have an opportunity to kind of come back in there. Already got the kill to Schofield, the blink into the call. XXS is in trouble with that Ice Blast landing, and Pelosin's also dead, so they stayed. They chose to fight, and they lose 3-4 on the side of Xtreme.
Xtreme were missing 2 key heroes. These heroes basically deal damage. Oh no, XM again, Yuma. Let's see this time if he's going to be able to get out. Getting his mana burn. Another Earthbind was not available.
No Ice Blast that time either. All looking good still for the Meepo. It's take a look at the fight one more time. Boundless strike, and Xingqiu doesn't die immediately. He actually
He gets
survives
trapped
for a
inside
little
of
while.
Hogs. Analog will commit with Wukong's command. This is also such an easy setup. Whoever gets caught inside of it is pretty much gonna die. Very cheap ways of dealing with it. And then XXS just disappears. Gets focused by multiple heroes. That's why we're saying that it's a very good Meepo game, but if Xtreme Gaming can survive, this is pretty much the toughest stage of the game for them. Until they get to another round of items, until Doom gets to his BKB, Storm gets to his BKB. Problem is, XM will have to use BKB a lot of the times when he gets jumped by Meepo once, because he knows that if he doesn't use it, it's gonna be a real issue. Let's say you get the one jump with Earthbind, the second one's gonna follow, so not really ideal way of getting out of the fight. And look at Yuma. Full disperser. The fastest disperser, probably.
Keep it up. That's the stat. We'll see what he gets next. How fast that will be. Analog also looking for the BKB. Looking at Storm going Kaya Sanj, but XM now has this BKB. And I do wonder, because we haven't felt much from really anybody but XM kind of making some space here, 3-1 and 2. But like XXS's presence hasn't really been felt. He's got a pipe. He also wants a Crimson Guard. He's trying to give those auras, but there's been no real big vacuum wall. There has not been a Doom used, I think, to this point.
No,
I
not
don't
really.
remember it if there was. Do have the memory of a goldfish, but I'm pretty certain there's not been one, and they need to think about making a move, and that's what they're going to do here with a smoke. Schofield's not exactly the best target to get. There's also Whisper who's nearby, but Pelosin's going to start with a TP, and they've got the Cogs, but they've got the Vortex and the Sprout. Schofield will die here to the Nature's Prophet.
As long as they can keep getting these pickoffs, this is very good for Xtreme Gaming. A little surprised that with... I mean, it's not a lot of advantage, but with the heroes that they do have, it does feel like it's more. Heroic, I think they should be pushing the fight slightly more and trying to get the hands on that Aegis on Meepo. Try to smoke up, get a kill in the bottom part of the map, and turn that into Roche. Because with Meepo, you're always going to be having enough damage.
This preemptive Ice Blast onto these heroes.
Top, or at least looked for it, but it didn't land. I think maybe delaying potentially them going for Tormentor. It is 21 minutes. They could go for it if they want, but they would need some help. Not exactly the best objective-taking team for Xtreme. BKB almost there for Analog. BKB picked up for Doom. At this point, you could still go back for Midas, right?
You can,
You're
yes. Ame loves Shadowblade on Doom.
Yeah, he does.
What I noticed every single time he plays the hero, wants to be able to get that extra movement speed. Doesn't even turn off the Radiance. Oh. This should be a quick and easy one.
And it is. They get Whisper, though. That's a good trade for Xtreme at the cost of a Nature's Prophet. Serpent Wards were committed. They don't end up going near the tower, but it's a kill on Whisper. I agree with you. I really want to see Heroic pushing the envelope more. Yes, they get a kill there on Nature's Prophet by the tier 2 tower, but
the trade is not really worth it for them. It also buys time for Xtreme Gaming. 2 auras are available on Darkseer. Crimson Guard, good against Meepo, good against Monkey King as well. And then you have Pipe. You're not buying Guardian Greaves. You are playing against Ancient Apparition. So good amount of magic damage that they do have. Poof. You have Clockwork, you have Ancient Apparition ulti, so you want to be staying alive. And also, supports are building pretty defensively, especially Xingqiu, going for Glimmer Cape as his first item. But this is the item that you want to buy whenever you play against Ancient Apparition.
what I really like is Pelosi. He's going for the Axe. So he's got Spirit Vessel going Axe. He's looking to entangle all these Meepos. And the fight gets easier. If Meepo can't jump you, you can react to him if you see him, and then make that counterplay. I really like this potential pickup here for Pelosi on how quickly he gets it. Very curious to see how that works out and how quickly he can get to this item. Blink now picked up for Ame. Another way into the fight for them. But it is kind of giving those vibes that maybe Heroic should have anticipated going for more, throwing some of these Earthbinds out there and not really finding a target. Shinkyu now thinking about turning around. They've got the Hex, the Wrath of Nature, but the Balance Strike with the Shard. He'll jump out of the Shadow Shaman, who sprouted himself. They've got the call. They lose two. Schofield's dead to start, but the Ice Blast lands on XXS. They go to the Wukong's command. They'll get themselves another. KJ dies to XXS. And the BKB's been popped by Ame. Infernal Blade on the Whisper doing some decent damage. He's got the Lotus Orb, but the chase is on. They'll look for this kill onto the Axe. They get it. Infernal Blade. Yuma in trouble. They hit the Hex. That's from the Shadow Shaman and bought back into the fight. They'll get that kill onto the Meepo. Pelosin also bought back here for Xtreme, but the price of admission was worth it to get the kill onto the Meepo.
That's how you outnumbered them. Like, sure, they have more heroes with Meepos, but two supports on Xtreme Gaming immediately using the buyback, coming back into the fight. There is tier 1 tower available top, so they come to the fight relatively quickly, and they get the big kill. Killing Meepo there, getting a good chunk of gold. Ame is the one who got it. 700 gold for him.
Dire's top tower.
Meepo also kind of gives those same vibes that Shadow Fiend gives, where your game is pretty fragile. You die a couple times, and it does feel like that advantage that you've got fades away, and your effectiveness almost halves very quickly.
Yeah, because you farm so quickly, and this is the first Doom that we are seeing being used. Finally, it looked like the fight is going to be really good. Axe gets the dunk. Everybody's sitting inside Wukong's command, so Monkey has armor. With the dunk, they all get the extra armor, extra move speed as well. And that also benefits Meepo quite a lot, where they can choose where to take the fight, but also with the buybacks, it was a bit too much. They didn't get what they wanted from the Wukong's command. They didn't kill enough heroes. And on side of Xtreme Gaming also, they kept the BKBs for a relatively long time, knowing that there aren't, like, sure, you can layer the stuns with Monkey King, Axe, Clockwork, but also if you don't die, if somebody else is soaking up some of these abilities, that also means that you can hold onto your BKB and then enter the fight slightly later.
They enter that fight a little bit later. They won't have the advantage of having those buybacks again if they do fight like that one more time. They've got the amplified damage on one of the Meepos, and they're still, again, not going for Roshan there. They sit 3,000 net worth behind. Xtreme finding themselves in a pretty position. And it's going to get harder. I've said it already a handful of times, but when Nature's Prophet does get this Axe, I think this is going to be a big item for their team fight, because you've got so many heroes that want to jump in and initiate, and if you don't have that for Heroic and they're rooted up, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's the big item. Again, Meepo is not the one who does have Aegis 26 minutes into the game. That fight could have been completely different. For example, if he had the Aegis, Meepo, when he respawns, especially at this high level, he does have 4 Meepos at the moment. It is an insane amount of damage.
There's 4 Meepos. He wasn't handed experience on the Doom.
Oh
Look
my
at
God,
the
they
damage
waited
coming
for
in.
him.
Oh boy. KJ, Whisper, Schofield, Yuma all fall by the wayside for Ame.
Knock, knock. Who's there? It's XG with the perfect setup.
That was an ambush.
They opened the gates of hell. Their Doom immediately dropping it down, and if they take this Aegis, and they will because they just killed 4 heroes, this game flips completely.
Let's watch this again as they all show up. Yeah, Ame gets frozen. He's hit with the Ice Blast, and he's going to end up dying, but man, this is a big fight here for Xtreme.
With the big ulti. Like, that was some insane damage that came out. This is also pre-Axe. Now he does have Axe ready to go after they finish off Roche.
Faster Ags than average by 3.5 minutes. Also going to swipe a Wisdom Shrine. Thank you, may I have another. And there is a shrine available on their side of the map. Pelosin, though, he's caught via the call, and he's going to be dead for a while. did have that buyback used, and he'll throw Wrath of Nature out right before he dies, but he's dead for 70 seconds, so by the time he's back up, he'll have Wrath of Nature back up again, and maybe they can fight with this Aegis. They have 4 minutes to work with it. Meepo's still sitting top of the net worth. Is now again ahead in levels over Ame.
Yep. And also something to point out, Nature's Prophet does deal insane amount of damage with this Aghanim Scepter. He did have Searing Signet, and now he removed it because Searing Signet, the patch that did drop yesterday, you don't deal damage if you're more than 2k range away. Big
vacuum into the wall. They got Whisper, and they're going to get Schofield. Looked like it was going to be worth a little bit more to them, but the Mega Meepo and the leave from Yuma and KJ nowhere close.
Seems like XXS doesn't want to even micro the illusions. Like, this is the 3rd time I'm seeing him. The illusions are just stuck in the wall. That's it. Like, damage has been done. We don't need it to push or anything.
Not really.
Ah, there. He moved them and they died instantly. Maybe his illusions cannot be moved. Too fragile.
He's just forgetting.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's
Got Analog. Has that Nullifier shipping out with the Helm of the Iron Will. It'll be Ags for XM again. And in the name of the game with these Ags, control, control, control. The entanglement, the blue hole of the AoE electric vortex. You've got vacuum as well. I mean, this can really set up into being quite the painful experience for Heroic if they're really grouped together too much. XM gonna back away, and they have smoked up on Heroic. They have Ags on Schofield to try and figure out if they can find somebody. They do see Pelosin. Constantly getting slowed by these rocket flares. Hook shot also connects. And
finds the angle
here. Pelosin is looking like he might die one more time, and he's going to be dead for 50 as it's dominating for Analog. It's a big kill to find, especially when they want to use this Wrath of Nature. Blink call. This could be another one. Yuma jumps in, and they got the Aegis. Doom is TPing in, but the reaction time is not quick enough for Xtreme.
I'm just wondering how you even itemize against this, because you don't have SNY. This item also has been heavily nerfed. Maybe some Aeon Disc that you can get, but there's also Nullifier available on Monkey King, which is good against Crimson Guard, great against Darkseer, great against Glimmer Cape as well, that they do have Gale Guard. All of these things are going to be dispellable now. And something to point out, something that Storm does have as his neutral item is Jitty Pollen Bag. I'm not sure who Jitty is, but this is the big item that gives you like health restoration reduction. Great against Monkey, great against Meepo as well.
Vortex, Schofield. Use that hook shot, but he's caught. Have to ask the lore master about who Jitty is. 3,000 gold needed for that Ags. It'll be some time, but they are catching up, and Ame again now ahead in levels over this Meepo. KJ looking for a Force Staff, then a Blink Dagger for that Ancient Apparition.
Once the fall, I really like the Blink Dagger on Ancient Apparition in some of these scenarios where you need to get on top of the target and get that blast instantly, so he can play with Clockwork. Most importantly, he's going to be playing with Axe, and once Meepo gets that Blink Dagger plus Hex Initiation, this is going to be where they want to kill the target. But we've seen Xtreme Gaming, if they keep the buybacks and then they heavily commit with Heroic on their side, using Wukong's command, using their BKB's Ancient Apparition ulti, they can still win off the fights by bringing in extra numbers.
Definitely game plan for that.
I've been pretty impressed by XM. He died only one time in this game, playing into multiple ways of dealing with the BKB, playing into Meepo. Technically twice, because he did lose that Aegis, but that one doesn't count.
And it was close too, right? Like that almost kill over bottom where he had 17 health, survives, Ball Lightning, avoids the Rocket Flare. Like that could have been very game-changing. Infernal Blade, the chase for Yuma is on. But the setup is there. The vacuum into the wall once more with Cogs down. They'll go to the BKB. They'll use the Doom. It's onto the Ancient Apparition, and now they've got themselves a Sprout. They'll find themselves KJ. They'll look over at Analog. Whispers in with the blink as well as the call. Jig2 in trouble. He gets dunked. That's a 1-for-1 so far. The damage on Ame. Another dunk comes in. The Wukong's command. Heroic kind of pulling away with it as they take out Pelos, and XM needs to leave. But XXS with the BKB of his own is now on the run. The chase is there, and he needs to find a way out. Cogs from Schofield, XM back in, doesn't have a lot of mana, but they go and throw the nullifier onto him from Analog, and they get the kill to the Storm Spirit.
Oh, I'm not sure about this Doom. Doom has been used on Ancient Apparition, who already used ulti. I'm not sure if Ame saw that one going out already, but this is a very wasted ulti. And then you see the power of Meepo. If he's not contested, dealing 6,000 damage in the previous fight.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Heroic pull it back with a good fight.
Has been killed.
And Yuma showing off the Meepo skills. Really putting the damage on to these heroes on Extreme.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
And XM committing to going back in on that fight.
Yeah, that was also a bit questionable. Look at Ame here. Ancient Apparition, ulti did go out, and he still decides to Doom AA. He's like, I see a target, I Doom a target. Could have definitely used it on somebody else. Meepo also did use Mega Meepo, I believe, in this point. Infernal Blade deals insane amount of damage to Meepo with level 20 talent. That is, just do a quick math, 6.5, and he was sitting at almost 5,000 damage. Sorry, 5,000 HP. So that's an insane amount of damage that you're dealing with Infernal Blade if you can get it multiple times. And Whisper, something Panel talked about is they don't build into auras, but Whisper this time around, realizing that he might need to tank up slightly more. Playing it for the team, having Lotus Orb for his Monkey King most of the time so that he can get doomed, but Ame also showed in the previous fight that he will doom whatever is needed. Also speaking of auras, another aura on XXS. He wants to slow that attack speed, also wants to give some extra magic damage, plus also deal with it. And this is the item that I talked about that Meepo might get at the later stages of the game. It is Bloodthorn. Doesn't give him that much stats, which is something that Meepo wants, but it gives him good amount of control, it gives him True Strike, and it also gives him that extra bit of a damage onto Bloodthorn. So whoever he decides to focus with that one, Storm's not gonna have a good time. If he doesn't get much done, if Meepo doesn't die during his BKB, he doesn't feel comfortable coming back into the fight.
In a situation in which XM then gets onto the Ags, I think that fight definitely goes a little bit better where you've got that AoE control. But for right now, Heroic, if they can find XM again, slow down this Ags, make sure that AoE Vortex is just not a problem for them. Can see them continue to pull the lead back, if not be favorable.
Are scanning.
For right now, Extreme doing their best to just try and avoid Heroic, who have smoked as 5 and are searching through the Twin Gate.
There's also another big item on Monkey King, your Refresher. This is something that you do buy when you are getting closer to your level 25. That extra Wukong's ring makes you, it allows you to siege the high ground, allows you to take very easy fights. I think he needs to do Monkey King, and there's no other option for Doom.
Nearby, XXS going in, blink call already going to stop them. They got this call on XXS, but they killed Yuma so quickly, it's not even going to matter. They'll try to TP out. The rest of these heroes will leave, but immediately onto Yuma.
Is under attack.
Right, they saw the opportunity. They got the jump. They did have Observer Ward. Heroic also try to play sneaky and place Observer Ward on that hill to maybe get that first jump. Roshan is about to respawn right now, and they just got out of the pit.
Man, that was a very quick kill onto Yuma. Hit with that Infernal Blade, hexed up. Wrath of Nature came through, chicken fingered. He took 1,600 damage from Doom, but 1,200 from the Nature's Prophet in that death.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage. It also, this is the new mechanic that I mean, it's an old mechanic, something that is disarm and root at the same time, so it is called Bound nowadays. Crystal Maiden also does have it on her fight. Allows you, like, it's very good against all of the Meepos, because they're gonna be stuck, they can't attack, they can't move. And also Poloson did scout things out with the Treant, allowing them to get Roche. XM will pick it up. Nice try from Schofield, but they were ready for this angle.
Good block, though. XXS on a mega kill streak. He is in a bit of a saving grace for Xtreme with some of these vacuums.
Yeah, I like the way they itemize as well and choose the facets, choose the pretty much talents as well. It's all about Meepo, knowing that this guy is going to carry the game. So Storm picks up the shard of his own just now and also takes the overload attack bounce. So that's going to be a lot of damage between everybody. Also has crossbow to reduce the healing coming out. They do have Shiva's Guard. They do have Doom. And Doom is also getting closer to his level 25.
Back to a 10,000 net worth lead. Ame closing in on level 25. He's got that harpoon, but just became disjointable as of yesterday.
I love this build on Doom. Whoever pioneered this, it allows you to deal insane amount of damage with Alpha Wolf, basically giving full Vlads to the team. And also with the Harpoon build, you don't necessarily need to keep a neutral creep that can proc the Lincoln, so at least you have something with that as well. And also with the double hit, like you being the highest level or higher level than them, allows you to deal extra 25% of the damage. Jinkyu.
Oh, look at this 4-man vortex into the vacuum.
He basically solo killed him.
Oh my god! XM, no fear, straight up. Gets 3. Oh dear, it fell apart for Heroic quickly. And all off the back of XM with the ball lightning AoE vortex.
That just might be it. Like he blinked in, overload bounce with the shard, attacked them a couple of times, Parasma as well, pulled them in. 8,000 damage. This was basically 8,000 damage out of 10,000 damage in 2 seconds.
Wow, XM. Have yourself a game. 42,000 damage. And really a big part of why Xtreme is in the lead at the moment. Meepo ended up getting away from that, but they are going to lose 2 sets. Maybe even more. They are willing to commit. That was prime time.
That might just be it. 30 seconds, no Monkey King, no buy. He did invest all of his gold into this refresher some time ago. And they have more than enough damage. Alpha Wolf, Aura.
The jump in from Yuma. Ice Blast thinking about it. XM though, he's on the back end and they'll throw that Doom out. They've got the Vortex. Yuma's gonna die, has buyback, gonna be forced to use it. They'll go to the Blink as well as the call. They've got the gold feed into the hook shot. XM, he's got an Aegis though. You kill him once, now you gotta kill him twice. They'll look for XXS. The wall is down. They'll take out the Darkseer, but XM, he's gonna have this BKB. He's got the Vortex on everybody again. He'll look over as Whisper dies. AJ's gone. Yuma's in the Mega Meepo. But what do you have? What is left? Analog with the Wukong's command, the balance strike that lands on Ame, but Ame is not who you have to worry about. It does feel like it's XM, and with these Serpent Wards, they'll secure the Mega Creeps. As Xtreme Gaming, they'll lose Pelosin, but the rest are on the run.
We've seen teams get some really good Mega Creep comebacks. It doesn't matter. We saw NAVI struggling a couple of times. Team Spirit as well. It doesn't matter. When they are against Mega Creeps, they need to run it down mid lane. Doom doesn't have buyback. He invested all of his gold, and he definitely doesn't have enough gold for buyback. His buyback is almost 3,000 gold. Heavily committing. Like, he dies so quickly on Meepo. Like, they find the right one, he gets doomed. That's the first life. And again, Storm Spirit, with his Aghanim Scepter, with his shard, with his level 25 talent, deals insane amount of damage. Sure, they gotta get him once, but also this double Wukong's command, well, it was actually one Wukong's because he didn't even refresh, allows them to take a big fight, and Monkey just got level 25 out of that fight.
Kind of sounds like you're saying there is a surefire
There is always a chance, exactly.
Killing Ame dead for a minute 35 with no buy.
Oh, big item. Not something you see every day on Storm Spirit. Refresher Orb is delivered. Actually, it got delivered on XM. So he could potentially have double BKB and double pull with talent that's 4.4 seconds.
It's a lot of lockdown. That's kind of disgusting. You've got Refresher for Nature's Prophet, too, so he's got the double Wrath of Nature with the Ags upgrade when that Refresher's off cooldown.
Yeah, so he could also disarm them for another 6 seconds as well. And speaking of Refresher, there is one available on Darkseer as well.
Man. Refresher Orb becoming that very popular item
it's
again.
It's still good.
They've tried their hardest to nerf this item.
Then we nerfed the Refresher Shard as well so that you couldn't use Refresher or Refresher Shard to have 3 ultis.
What are you going to do?
Smoking around. Trying to wrap. If they can find Meepo, any of these heroes who don't have buyback available, they are inside of the base.
They jump in and jetpack attempt. They'll Earthbind Ame, but no clockwork for 70 seconds. The Wukong's, the Doom comes through onto Analog. And Ame's going to be able to get out of the circle. The ball lightning over, looking over at Whisper with the BKB as well as the Blade Mail. Doom will eventually take out Analog with the help of Jinkyu. And the Vortex, it'll pull Whisper in. They'll buy back on Analog. They'll buy back on him. But they'll go and refresh. They've got themselves the Vortex. He gets into the Mega Meepo, and nobody dead on the side of Xtreme Gaming. But Jinkyu standing there. Call hits. They've got the taunt onto both XM as well as Jinkyu. They've got the poofs hitting. They'll try for the Culling Blade, but Jinkyu's going to survive, but XM won't. They take him out now. They'll finally finish off the Shadow Shaman, but down goes KJ.
XM.
And the game is just over as the throne explodes, and Xtreme Gaming take game number 1.
Yeah, they didn't even see that Throne was dying. XM, he's like, I'm trying to TP onto something, but I don't have bots, so he buys bots, and suddenly the game just ends. What a game from him. I just want to see the damn...
Nami coming into game 2, Xtreme looking to book a ticket to the playoffs, while Heroic are trying to stay alive for a game 3. This game does have quite a bit of layers, like Lizard was saying. It feels like an onion, maybe a parfait. But we'll see what happens in this game as we start to peel back the layers and one by one start to see how this game progresses. Lacoste, we've got Sardar as the last pick here. And another Lina game.
30 seconds to battle.
Another Lina game that might not have the greatest time, considering all the minus armor. This is the hero that doesn't build into armor items, so maybe the supports will need to take care of it. This is going to be Whisper from the off lane. It's a very good Crimson Guard game. You're playing into so much physical. Supports definitely need to start looking into getting the Solar Crest. This is not the item that you buy on Shadow Shaman, however, but it's all 3 cores, all physical. But if we also look at how slow the lineup is from Xtreme Gaming, if we go back, let's say a year,
all right,
it does feel that this is extreme. Look at when they were picking Shadow Demon plus Phoenix, not having too many stuns, losing the laning stage pretty heavily, and then making a comeback. I could see the same thing happening here because this is a very explosive lineup. You take one good fight, you can easily take Roshan, you can take any objective on the map. You have more than enough tower damage coming out from Shadowfiend. Unfortunately, he doesn't have that 15 talent that the presence aura affects buildings anymore, but you should be able to bring the numbers and kill the towers, especially if you take a really good fight.
We'll see how quickly it takes to get both teams kind of started, where the kills will come from, because it does kind of feel like every lane has a chance at a kill. Maybe less so for Xtreme, but that being said, you could still ensnare, reel in, land a couple of raises, and you might get a kill there up top for Xtreme as well. But Shadow Shaman with Magnus, Shackle into Shockwave Skewer could definitely turn into something.
Especially if the laning is in a bad position. We've seen multiple times Shadowfiend being paired up with Naga Siren. It is a good setup for your raises, and they're playing instantly aggressive onto Ame. Schofield does have Ether Shock. Ame, another Shockwave soon, but he's going to be fine. All that extra stats that he did bring. 3 branches, Magic Wand, allows him to survive.
Whisper looking for another shot at getting this kill.
Schofield needs to be careful here. If they hit level 2... Oh, Paulson doesn't have much XP. He gave some of the XP to Shadowfiend. I saw Shadowfiend being 1 creep away from level 2. If you get the net on him.
Yeah. Not going to be the case, at least for the moment. And then there's a salve, so he's back up towards full. Gives them another chance to kind of have Schofield feel very confident in moving up on an Ame. But he gets shared a Tango, and he'll start to heal as well. Definitely dangerous for Ame, and we have seen games where he kind of gets heavily focused by the other team, and it requires XXS and XM to pick up the pace. And on Slardar and Pangolier, it's definitely two heroes that come level 6 can open up the map a bit for Ame.
They definitely can. This mid matchup is a bit interesting because they knew what they were playing into, and I see that Monkey King is doing much better. Slardar is one of the few heroes who can like trade okay-ish with Bash of the Deep. I want to see what he gets on level 4. Guardian Sprint to try to run away. You do have also Leg Day, so you move pretty quickly. And you can also maybe pick up both of the water runes.
Ame is under the tower and
Ame's
looking
dead.
very dead, but Whisper, he needs another shot. He'll hit the shockwave, and that'll be first blood for this Magnus. Must have ended up under the tower with that shockwave skewer. And Pelosin not going to be able to pick up this Lotus either. This lane is very much advantage heroic.
Difficult start. If your lane is close to the enemy tower, you have no real stuns, nothing to stop the shackles from going off, so this is always a bad lane. Or if you want to look at it from a different perspective, it's always a good Shadow Shaman lane, because you get the free cast in a lane like this, 2 points in shackle, it heals you for 140, deals 140 damage at level 2. Whisper, let's see if he can get the skewer back.
He wants it, and he hits both heroes. Blood Grenade, Ame might just be dead again. Whisper chasing, but do they have the raises to turn around onto Whisper? They do!
Nice.
That is confidence from this Shadow Shaman, or from this Shadow Fiend.
His
Just
short
go in.
raise was coming off cooldown, and I think Whisper realized that he needs to try to go back, but his long raise was also ready.
Double raise, and
That's raised up Ame in this lane, at least with a kill. Doesn't have a lot of CS, but he's got more than Magnus now, and also has a kill as well. Gotta be careful about going for this Shadow Fiend with the raises there. Mid lane is very much analog, dominating the CS numbers.
Already has 500 extra net worth, and it's not gonna get any easier. They need to land those raises. As soon as they start to play aggressive, like one raise needs to hit instantly.
Schofield looks like he's just going to wrap around and shackle. That's exactly what he's going to do. And then they try to set up, but instead now you could just focus this Naga Siren, who almost walks forward to say, hey, look at me. Don't look at my Shadow Fiend. That's exactly how it goes down. Pelosin ends up dying, but is that a sacrifice in which, you know, Nesh Shadow Fiend gets to stay in lane a little bit and works out in the later parts of the lane to benefit them?
Shadowfin also doesn't have much mana to work with, basically has 2 raises, which is not enough. And this is a very difficult lane for them. Again, not having any kind of a silence, any kind of a stun to stop Shadow Shaman from getting his spells off. Good thing is Shadow Shaman also doesn't have much mana to work with. He is bringing some on the Courier, Sage Mask, and Clarity. This is going to give Shadowfin good 20 seconds to last hit as free as he wants.
Whisper still not ahead of Ame, but they have racked up a couple kills. Happy with what they're getting in the moment. XXS bottom. He's 32 and 13, most CS hero on Xtreme. See how it is for the supports. We'll see what Pelosin does with the Naga Siren. This is a hero that can really stack quite a bit. But I'm not sure we've seen any stacking from Naga Siren just yet.
XM just placed Observer Ward and it's going to get killed immediately. But yeah, Naga Siren does stack a lot. They have okay-ish heroes to kill the stacks with. Pango with 2 of his abilities, Shadowfiend with raises can definitely do it. CXM doesn't find rune there, and this was a very good move from Schofield. He did stack the big camp, did secure the rune for Analog, playing with the catapult. Even King Jungles is going to come to the mid lane. Wallachia will try to drag the creep wave away. This is a nice move.
This is going to time out with the 7-minute shrine.
They're definitely coming. Whenever you play against Monkey King from the mid lane, there's always a chance that there is going to be Monkey King going for your rune.
Wukong's.
Well, Jinkyu is going to pick it up anyway.
He'll get it.
He's fine with that one.
Disrupt and walk away. Schofield trying to move forward and get a shackle onto this Shadow Demon. Gets the Hex from a distance. That means Shadow Demon isn't going to be able to survive the gank from Analog.
It's more important that he gets that XP rune. That Wukong's command wasn't really good enough to be able to remove him from picking up the XP rune. Maybe if he wanted to, because he doesn't have a point in jump. Maybe that's why. No point in tree dance at this point.
A little bit surprising. Well, they were still able to get in on the kill. Maybe they should have had one more over, though, from Xtreme, knowing that these heroes were coming in. Nobody really rotating to that. Whispers level 6. They go to the RP. Gonna need some help from Jinkyu, who is not able to do enough to save XM. 4 heroes have shown up over mid. They land the sweep of the Shadow Demon, and this is a dead Shadow Demon again.
Very good moves from Heroic. Trying to go for enemy XP rune, they get a kill. Even Whisper decides to make a move to the mid lane. They try to play aggressive. I can see what Xtreme wants to do. Try to force a rotation, relieve some of the pressure from the side lane so that Shadowfin can farm, so that Pango can get his level 6. But they get heavily punished. And again, this tower is very, very low at the moment.
Nagasiren's just sitting mid, and again, I'm just wondering, like, no stacks.
I had to do something else. Let's see if he's going to be able to make some stacks right now, because he needed to drag that creep wave away from the mid lane when they were playing 3 with the catapult. Yuma.
Gonna Blade Boundless Strike, LSA. Shield crashing, though, and the Rolling Thunder now needs to turn around and get out of here. And that's all happening while they do finally make some stacks on the map. I know Ame's made a couple for himself in the moments that he had alone. But they need to get some more farm available on the map. They're down 2,000 net worth, and Monkey King and Lina are leading the charge for Heroic. It's really good from Heroic so far, and they're going to move and look for more. They've moved around the map really well. That 4-man gank, and now this gank over in the top lane looking for Pelosin. They've got the skewer, and they don't even need Yuma. It's dominating for Analog, who's played real well off a mid-lane victory.
Definitely making all the right moves, going into these cheaper items from Monkey King. We saw the Diffusal Blade yesterday from Mid Monkey working out really well, and this is going to be another tower for them. Mid tower didn't die, but basically it's dead, sitting at 250 HP. They did make a move already. We said that Xtreme Gaming's lineup is a bit on the slower side. They don't have many stuns. Sure, you have Slaughter, but you also need a Billing Dagger. This is a good rune. Maybe they can get something out of this one. Haste, and Jinkyu is also level 4, 10 minutes in. Supports also don't deal any kind of a damage, so that's why I'm saying that this lineup from Xtreme Gaming is very slow. They're very good at stacking. They're very good defensive supports to try to reset the fight with the Song, with the Disruption maybe. But overall, if Heroic are going to be keeping the pressure onto the enemies, I feel like they need to put slightly more pressure, try to get something out of the lead that they do have, not allowing them to get much done, not allow them to clear those stacks. XXS, Rolling Thunder, not an easy kill to get.
No, and they're going to have another one coming in. They don't get this Shadow Shaman. They also sleep too, but the LSA does not connect. Disrupt onto the Monkey King. Schofield still alive. They use another Rolling Thunder, and it doesn't turn into anything for the side of Xtreme, as more heroes rotated for Heroic, and again, moving around the map really well. Shadow Shaman placing down the Serpent Wards, looking to get another tower, as they'll force the Glyph. And Xtreme, you said it, it's a slow draft. Is it... what's the timing? They want Blink Dagger on Slardar first. Are you looking to fight off that Blink Dagger, or do you really want to, like, really get it to a crawl here?
Pick off. I don't think they're going to be able to team fight anytime soon. The Diffusal Blade on XXS is coming out. The supports are still very low level, especially Jinkyu, about to crack level 5. At least Pelosin in the mid lane was getting some of the XP. They can't delay the game, because these heroes, like especially Nagasiren, we saw it so many times throughout the tournament, where Nagasiren goes behind enemy lines, kills 2 creep waves, and then delays the game. The problem is if they're going to be getting caught, because I see Blink Dagger on Magnus ready. This also means that they can go for these pickoffs. get a one-man RP, get whatever you can. Just try to put slightly more pressure, get those pickoffs. And it also gives them, because we've seen 3 games yesterday when BetBoom Team played Lina.
Yeah.
He lost the laning stage pretty heavily. This Lina is staying close to the top of the network, and she's not pressured at all. You know that Xtreme Gaming will not get any kind of aggressive moves, not until Slaughter gets the Blink Dagger, so she's pretty safe.
What's the, if we have it available, the stack number differences between these teams? I've seen both teams taking
I'd say like 15 maybe on Xtreme Gaming. 10.
10-9.
I was expecting slightly more.
I was actually, yeah, you know, now they've started to stack a little bit more. Ame got himself one, but yeah, I saw this happening with the Empower, coming over, taking those stacks too for the side of Heroic. Pretty even overall. Ame, despite this slow start, he's not too bad.
No,
in
he's
terms
doing
of
okay.
net worth.
Did die only that one time. Bolosan did sacrifice himself a couple of times so that Ame doesn't die.
Definitely the big problem, though, is the other 2 cores. They are... Well, Pango's not too far behind, but Slaughter is struggling. XM, he needs, when he gets this Blink Dagger, to find some gold around the map and potentially doing so with pickoffs, like you said. Smoke from Schofield, Monkey King there. He's a smoked Clarity at the moment. There's that Diffusal Blade for Pango, so they'll have the Diffusal Blade and the Blink Dagger for Slardar show up at around the same time. Right now, XM's backing away with
Could be an okay fight.
getting himself more health and mana.
Ame would definitely love to be level 12 in this engagement.
Next, RP and Serpent Ward stacked up, but Song
Ame
immediately out.
I don't think he's going to be able to get the Requiem off of that song. It's a bit too late, but the Rolling Thunder
Maybe
is
off
there.
The side. They go to the Rolling Thunder, and it's a focus and attention on Analog. Earth Splitter comes in. There's the Requiem. They get the Fear on it, too. Analog and Schofield are dead. They look for the Magnus, who gets into the trees, and that's a good fight. Very thankful for Pelosin if you're an Xtreme fan. And, well, Xtreme themselves are thankful that he was there to have the song ready to go.
This is exactly why Naga Siren is such a good hero. Like, she's strong laner, has a setup, but this time using the song, allowing the rest of the team to get the good Rolling Thunder. Requiem also does clip them. We've seen teams getting better at using this combo, especially in the lane. If it allows Shadowfiend to snowball out of control, it's a setup for your raises. It didn't happen in this game, but it does also allow you to get the combo off of your song. Like, use the song to wake them up and also use Requiem. We saw, I believe it was Liquid who used this combo a couple of times.
Whisper, Blink, Force Staff, Ags.
I was expecting an Aura. I think it's a still very good Crimson Guard game. And seeing how Whisper has been playing with all of these Auras, especially in the previous game where he wanted to go for a pipe, did buy into early Lotus Orb. So playing a bit more for the team rather than for himself.
Yuma had this early advantage and early start. He's got Falcon Blade, Boots of Travel, and the Maelstrom. He's in a real good spot. So is Analog. He had dipped down under the Ame Shadowfiend for a moment. Ame looking for that Hurricane Pike to get some distance. But XM Blink BKB is what he's calling for. They'll have another Blink soon when XXS grabs his. Very quick Boots of Travel for Yuma. At least according to the average.
Ooh, this is big. With Shadow Shaman, you always have ability to take Roshan. Maybe Xtreme Gaming were thinking they could have sneaked in Roshan with their heroes. It is mid Slardar. Unfortunately, he's not level 12 yet, so minus armor would be 10. With Pango, who doesn't have more than 1 point in Lucky Shot. Second Roshan, they could definitely sneak it in with all the minus armor that they do have. And now Yuma's going to be the one that's going to be holding the Aegis. Still yet to be involved in any kind of a kill, sitting at 0-0-0. But with the Boots of Travel, things are going to be easier.
See what they do with the Sages, how they set up. And maybe they wait for Schofield, because he's close to this Blink Dagger. Him initiating is going to be pretty big. These Shackles, Chicken Fingers in the Hex. But Xtreme, they've started to hit this point where they are getting some net worth under their belt.
Yep.
They feel strong.
managed to stabilize real nicely in the last couple of minutes. That big fight near the XP Shrine allowed them to regain 2k net worth.
Yuma.
And you can tell that they want to play a bit of a farm game.
Yeah.
Seeing that XM picked up a shard of his own, so he wants to farm rather than going for a BKB. Wants to hit those creeps.
And the pace of the game is fine for Xtreme as long as they're not losing access to their map. I mean, yeah, they've lost their tier 1 towers, but it's not like they're exactly being pushed behind the river. Like, you still have Shadow Demon and XXS pushing past the river line and feeling confident enough to do so because Heroic aren't punishing them. The one time they went on that 14-minute shrine, they lost that fight. Pelosin was there, ready with the song.
And they see stuff. With Naga Siren illusions, you're always going to have a good time. Like, even Shadow Demon can create illusions out of the heroes, and now they're waiting for the jump. XXS did pick up his Blink Dagger. Hurricane Pike is ready on Shadow Fiend. If they find Whisper here, if she shows, he's 100% dead.
Electing not to go to the Force Staff and is just building that Ags now. Pavis will help the survivability for this team. That's
Problem
picked
is,
up by Pelosin.
they don't have the entrances. They didn't
Blink,
kill
Crush.
the towers yet.
And the Rolling Thunder finding Whisper, who will use that skewer, but he's netted up and dead. They'll channel the Shackle, but the Laguna Blade comes out, and they've just not got the follow-up. Balance Strike, though, I say they don't have the follow-up.
They want
immediately
Monkey.
stop, sleep on sleep. They've been given some melatonin, they're tired, but now, as they've been woken up, XM, he's dead, Ame's on the run, he's inside the Wukong's
Boundless
command,
in a
the blink into the RP, they should have the Shadow Fiend and will. XXS needs to run with a swashbuckle, but the Balance Strike short off the mark, he's able to blink away, and it ends up being a bit of a close trade, as this should be Shadow Demon just getting out.
Nice one. Manages to get out of trouble. They got buyback out of Whisper. I just said that they need to kill these towers. That's the problem. They have tier 1 tower in the mid lane, tier 1 tower in the top. They smoked into the enemy triangle. Even if they get a kill with some buybacks, they can easily come back to a fight. Not too bad of a fight for Xtreme Gaming, but also they definitely don't want to be losing Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, and they lost cores compared to just the off and the 4 of Heroic.
So you're
Gained
saying
more
off
gold out of
lane,
it.
not a core?
No, I said the off and the 4, you know. But both were cores dead on Xtreme, and now they've lost Pelosin on the Naga Siren. They've gained the more gold, even though they bought back the most gold.
ETLT did a lot. Like, he was really keeping the distance, which he didn't get clipped by the song, and it did set up pretty nicely. This Boundless Strike.
Man, that's sleep too. Yeah,
You have sleep, we also have sleep.
We have ways to take you out and put you to bed.
That's also the battle of the shadows. Shadow Shaman, Shadow Demon,
Shadow Fiend. It's a lot of shadows. And now, a Tormentor for Heroic. Immediate smoke. Oh, Pelosin. Uh-oh. He was dead the second they started coming through that twin gate. Unfortunate position. He wanted the ward to maybe see that gank. Unfortunately ran into it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures.
And it's put Heroic in an okay spot again, up 3,000, but top of the net worth is Monkey King. Analog having a really good game. He has done a lot to keep Heroic ahead.
Radiant's middle tower
Definitely
is
did.
under attack.
He's been heavily involved in these
Swiping
early
up the
rotations. We'll take that shrine. They wanted to take it 7 minutes into the game as well. It does seem like they need a lot of items on Xtreme Gaming, but we also saw that yesterday, second game, BetBoom, when they had Naga Siren, they did win the game when Naga Siren got a lot of farm.
Yeah.
We're talking about like 3 big items, basically mana boots, Blink Dagger, and Refresher. So he did have double song, and let's see if he's going to be able to maybe replicate that, try to get a good amount of farm. Because usually this is the position 4/5, whichever role you want to play it, that does get a lot of farm, because you always want to be pushing out the waves.
Link Slither and Crush coming through on a KJ. Quick kill onto the
Elder Titan. And I'll TP him back to pick up that BKB. That's what we were talking about at Xtreme Gaming. That pick-off potential with the Slardar and that Blink Dagger. See what else they can get. They are staying across the river, deep into the Heroic side, and you can see the Dota plus win probability favoring Heroic at about 60%.
Yeah, I would agree with that one. It really depends how the next fight into Roche is going to be played out. Who's going to be controlling that Roshan? If it's going to be Ame on Shadow Fiend. Like, this is also, like, it's not the real transformation hero, but it does feel like Shadow Fiend with Aegis feels like that. Like, with Dragonite, TB, Sven as well. What he can do after he respawns isn't really as impactful as some other carries. Shadowblade.
Another Shadow.
Yeah, we wanted to see Ame pick it up in the previous game on Doom because he really adores the item. But we'll get it this time. We'll give him more maneuverability in a fight. Maybe he's going to be able to run away. We'll definitely save him in the previous fight.
Bosin, ooh, balance strike. But RP, Ame, he's gonna Requiem. That hits the two heroes going for Pelosin. Backup is coming for both teams. Blink, Crush, BKB. Is the damage for Ame enough? It is. They get that kill. The ult from the Shadow Demon helping out. And Analog was in confidently with the BKB. Oh, Horn Toss in the middle of a shield crash. Now they've got the Shackle, but realizing they
XM
can't
is
commit to
chasing.
this.
Blink is ready.
Lina is not even
They
TPing.
want the big
They
one.
are not coming over for him, and they will find this Shadow Shaman. Schofield's going to die. They'll be able to farm some Serpent Wards, and they'll also be able to push the tower.
They wanted Magnus real bad there. They wanted to have extra death timer because he did buy back in the previous fight. Tumbler's Toy, Skewer, he manages to run away. And now that's a freebie tower for them.
Yeah, Lina didn't have TP available and couldn't be into the fight, but the reinforcements showed up for Xtreme Gaming, and they made it really beneficial for themselves. RP on Pelosin onto the Naga Siren felt like a bit of an overkill, and it didn't end up getting them the kill initially, and now he's on the run. There's Shadow Demon close, but everybody else is not really nearby, and they will finally get the Naga Siren that they originally came for.
That jump from Monkey King, extra 3 dance cast range on level 15, really making the difference there. Seems like they want to be having as much armor as possible, building into Dispel, building into Manta Style. I see Disperser as well. I said that Lina usually doesn't buy into armor items, but in this game I see that he's going for AC, which is definitely necessary. Magnus is not the best AC buyer, so somebody will need to get it, and I think it's desperately needed, considering that they are playing against 3 physical cores.
Ame almost has his BKB ready. I mean, all they wanted was time, right?
He was thinking that maybe he can get away without buying a BKB.
What did he have in there before?
He had Daedalus.
That's risky. That's one of those moves that if you commit to Daedalus, die 2 times.
You get hexed, you're dead.
Yeah, you regret.
Yes, and then you have Crystallis and no gold, and suddenly you need to farm up 4,000 gold.
Smoked is 5. Aether Lens for Magnus. Shown up. And Tier 1 tower. They'll glyph it.
Radiant structures are formed.
They're grouped up on Heroic, but they're not nearby. They're over towards the mid-tier 2. Who most likely setting up for a fight pre-Roche. You said Xtreme can do Roche pretty quickly. If they get like 1 pick off, they're in.
Radiant's top tower.
Roche
Roshan
just has
is
to
about to
become
respawn.
available.
We still haven't seen Lina do much. Like, she is staying close to Shadow Fiend because he definitely took over in the last couple of minutes. But if you could check the damage, I feel like his damage is going to be like some like 3,000-4,000 maybe max. He's been heavily farming on this Lina.
Taking a look at the Gale Guards. A couple Brigand Blades, a Shiv. Now 2 Shivs. Taking the first 20 minutes to whittle into a Shiv. Now they've got a couple. Ags for the Pangolier.
Manta style for Analog.
It's also Aghanims with Shard, with Blink Dagger on Pango, so basically doing everything as mid Pango would do, but just slightly slower, and also your Rolling Thunder is not effective because you do have double jump facet. This next fight is gonna tell us the story of this game, how it's gonna go. Whoever manages to get a big fight, I mean, team fight from Heroic is pretty insane, with Blink Dagger on Magnus, Ether Lens, ET Ulti, Shadow Shaman, and Wukong's command. But they can also reset. There are 2 BKBs available on Heroic, which are not gonna be very good if we're talking about their song reset.
And Yuma just 0-0-2. They really want to see more from this Lina, second of the net worth. Has spent the time farming, has that BKB. There will definitely be position for them to make it happen in the next fight. But they, maybe not if they catch Yuma first.
They just
Smoke used, XM blinks Wither Crush, it's onto the Shadow Shaman.
He has no buyback. He bought out on Ghost Scepter.
He is dead for 35. That could have been way worse. They grouped
that's
up.
A very quick Roche they got. All the spells are pretty much maxed out. Shadow Fiend, Aura, Lucky Shot. Slardar's level 17, so that's extra minus 15 armor. Roshan dies basically in 5 seconds if everybody's hitting it.
Yeah, just leaving Ame in there.
Naga Siren, this is the power of the hero. Shadow Demon as well, with his innate ability. Oh, sorry, not innate, Shadow Servant facet. It does allow them to create the illusion, so he is scouting things out. They just killed off Shadow Shaman. A little surprised that they don't commit with like 1 extra hero.
Balance Strike BKB, but Analog, you're coming in now. The Wukong,
He got it.
Aegis, he got it. Surrounded by a couple of heroes inside the Wukong. XXS, he's stuck. Oh, XXS. RP used on the 2. LSA follows it up. Serpent Wards are there. Polosin is dead, and so is Jinkyu. It all falls apart for Xtreme as they were the ones going for Roche, but they didn't commit to everybody hitting Roshan. It was just Ame.
Everybody, but they could have hit with extra like 2 heroes, wait with Naga Siren to reset, and then Analog finds a really good opening, jumps onto the trees, and snatches this is actually massive. We said that whoever wins this next fight, it's gonna tell us how the game's gonna go.
This is Analog, BKB, stunned for a second, waiting for his moment to jump.
Low.
And then just snatched it right here. Not cooking fast enough. And then XXS just bouncing around the pit. Dying to this Wukong's, and you don't have Rolling Thunder at that point. Might have even wanted to use Rolling Thunder earlier to sit on top of Roche.
Could have done that. Maybe 1 proc of Lucky Shot, that extra minus armor, extra 13 minus armor, could have made the difference with all the right clicks from the Shadow Fiend. And now the game for Xtreme Gaming looks completely different.
It's another one of those moments that if you're Xtreme, you have to be a little bit more careful on, but Heroic, Analog specifically, again, just taking advantage of a little bit of indecision from Xtreme Gaming. Just having Ame on that Roche is kind of what cost them getting that Aegis.
Radiant are scanning.
Analog having a really good game. You saw Lina's only 1-0-3, but Analog 8-2-3 has been involved in 11 of the 14 kills for Heroic, and with a play like that, snatching the Aegis, involved in even more to really keep this game favorable.
The question is, how does Xtreme Gaming now go for the play? Do they have any smokes available? Naga Siren, no smokes whatsoever, so they're gonna need to try to outpush the waves, wait until this Aegis expires. Maybe they can get a pick off, but this is the big item. This AC is gonna tank them a lot. Everything is physical, as we said already. And another Tormentor. Whisper will get it this time.
Giving that upgraded skewer.
Not much. This is really not a good shard.
Radiant's middle tower
It's an okay shard, but it's not S tier by any means. Like, it's very good. Let's say you're defending the base, so you're skewering them, especially with Ether Lens. The cliff damage, it's pretty much nothing.
Choo Choo Tower top finally starting to take some
deeper towers, and this is the last outer tower that remains for Xtreme. Potential high ground push now. They took that mid tier 2, pressured tier 3 for a second, came over top, Tormentor into that, and now look for the Rolling Thunder. They'll jump into the backlines, but the BKB's been popped by Yuma. Ame with BKB, but they've left XXS out
XXS
alone.
is dead
Oh,
again.
her splitter
Lina.
landed, and Lina doing the damage. XXS is gone, no buyback.
They can't really... I mean, Slardar was not in. They were not on the same page. Not sure where XM was, but XXS decided to make the jump, go for that play.
Toss song.
Immediately.
Ame.
And they release it. There is RP ready.
Requiem and looking for the Lina. That's a good kill for them on the side of Xtreme to get Yuma. But do they have enough? Sleep landing again on Ame. Whisper's already dead. They'll go for this Shadow
He's standing
Shaman.
his ground.
Schofield's gone. Analog on the run. He's got 2 lives, but they might be able to just take them both away. They looked for the sleep. They'll look over at Ame. KJ doing some decent damage, but gets ripped apart by the help of Pelosin with this Shadow Fiend. And now Analog, he's going to die again. It's
so
a full
quickly.
team wipe for the side of Xtreme.
This is basically 4 versus 5. And Whisper, he knows. He did tip Poloson immediately. After that skewer back, he blinks in, uses the song, and look at the amount of gold that Poloson does have. He's sitting on 4,000 gold, so he can go for that refresher. That item that we did mention yesterday when Kataomi played, it did win them the game, and he can actually buy it. Ame, let's see the damage. 7,000 damage coming out from him in the previous fight.
This all starts with the song. Pelosin just right in and showing off the reason you get this blink dagger for this Naga Siren, because he blinks in and they're all songed. It sets up perfectly for the Requiem.
Yeah, and also the disruption from Shadow Demon.
Yeah.
So that he can't get RP onto 2 people. This was a really nice play from Jinkyu. And also getting all of these illusions, plus he also gets the illusion of Lina, so they get AC for free.
That feels pretty good. Pelosin, MVP of that fight.
Oh, definitely. Now Ame has Daedalus. Like, Ame... these heroes are scaling real nicely. Minus armor is always really, really good in the late game. Like, we're talking about Slardar also potentially getting his level 25, where Corrosive Haze is undispellable. Then your BKBs, your Manta Styles, Dispersers, they're not going to be doing anything. Now with Aghanim Scepter as well, he has that status resistance.
Heroic losing a big fight like that. It went from a 5,000 net worth lead on their end to a 6,000 net worth lead on the side of Xtreme, an 11,000 gold shift. And if you're Heroic, you've shown that the fights can be good, but you have to be the ones reacting first, because Pelosin has clearly shown that he's not afraid to just go with song and blink in and stop your engagement or stop your progression.
You don't need much mana on Naga Siren to be able to pull off the combo. Your ulti is 250, refresher's 350, so that's 850 pretty much. And you do have enough mana pull with mana boots, so you can also use it once you refresh it.
Math checks out. Blink, Slither, and Crush, and Whisper is dispatched quickly.
No
and
buyback on him.
Committed the TP. Yuma now needs to run, but Schofield comes in. He's got the Hex, and now they'll use this song once more.
They're ready to go in.
The Lina,
Ame,
and that is
pull
the
it off
target.
again.
Requiem thrown
Yes,
out for the KB is going to be in time, at least for Yuma. They'll think about getting these bashes. They need to be careful about the right clicks coming through. The Earth Splitter comes in and rips up Pelosi, who's going to end up dying, but Ame going for the kill. He's under the tier 4 tower, but this time it will work out. Tournament's not called the International, so diving the tier 4s is not so dangerous for Ame and the rest of the crew, as they'll go after XM. They'll finish off the Slardar. They'll buy back out of the Elder Titan and Analog.
Ame, back in 2 seconds.
XXS is here for some help. Jink2 also here. But do they want to go for this on Heroic? They bought back. They won't get anything on the retreat from Xtreme. But Xtreme also didn't commit and get these buildings at the moment.
Lina was very tanky. She did get Solar Crest from ET, sitting underneath the tier 4 towers, getting that extra armor, but still, she got shut down by Shadow Fiend. I'm not sure if she had Slardar ulti on top of her, but she's still dying. Like, she needs extra bit of survivability. I see that he wants to go for Satanic, but he also wants MKB, so he will need to decide which one of the two. Sure, you can still sell Maelstrom, which we seen yesterday.
Yeah.
When the BetBoom played, I think he sold his Maelstrom 2 times, opted to go for more damage.
Invis Rune. Schofield Shadowblade with the Ghost Scepter. Ooh, the Hex.
Already paid off.
Now a strike, yeah, it pays off immediately. Schofield immediately getting tipped by Yuma too. Hey, Shadowblade's a good item on supports as well.
It is. Whisper, also something to point out, he bought Hand of Midas. This is one of the latest one I've seen, especially on a core. Wants to scale, thinking that this game is going to go late, so he wants to get some extra items. He wants to get to his level 20, level 25.
Roshan soon. Timer is about 1:10 away.
Polosan did refresh in the previous fight, but didn't get the second song off. Lina did kill him almost immediately.
Yeah, the Earth Splitter landed on Polosan, and that's also took a big chunk of his life away. If they don't fight for the next 60, it doesn't exactly change too much. Getting towards level 18, looking for that song level 3. That'll work out better for them as they move towards this top Tormentor area to go through the Twin Gate. They might be able to wrap all the way out and around and surprise Xtreme. Pango's not going to be there. XM's not nearby immediately.
They know something is up. You see all of these illusions pushing out the mid lane, pushing out the bottom lane.
Smoke used, and now this is going to be a surprise fight, but
XXS is not there.
Horn toss. Ooh, XM caught out and away from his team. The BKB, the Slytherin Crusher, thinking about the RP, but the song from a distance. Polosan, he actually saves XM another good sleep, but XM's going to miss the Blink Slytherin Crush trying to go back in. They go to the Wukong's command. They've got themselves the RP. Another song coming through, sweeping up the side of Heroic. They buy back on Schofield immediately as Yuma's going to be inside this Wukong's, but it's not enough protection from him because they are hitting away. XM gets the kill on Yuma as well as KJ. They'll try to jump for some distance as Schofield and Whisper need to get away from XXS. He hits that swashbuckle, but Schofield's got that Shadow Blade. Invisibility at this point seems like invincibility, but Xtreme, they come out ahead.
Like, they try to initiate onto Slardar, but he does have that status resistance in the river. And then I guess it messes with Shadow Shaman because he wants to use his shackle. He wants to use all.
Buyback.
Ame, this is big. Look at the range with the shard.
4s. There's a Laguna Blade, but he's got himself the Satanic trying to heal up, and the right-click damage coming out from Yuma might be too much for him to handle. They've got the Guardian Greaves. They have a little bit of a heal.
Nice LSA.
LSA connects. Disruption from Jinkyu. Whisper with the skewer. He's right on the money, and Ame's still alive. Still trying to fight. Bella strike out onto Ame, but this guy will finally die. It cost them analog. It cost them everything, but Ame is dead. I don't know if they can hold on with just a Magnus. Nobody has buyback.
Oh man, Ame did a lot. Like that nicely timed Satanic. He comes back into the fight one more time. Even skewered underneath the tier 4s. It doesn't feel like it's doing that much. And again, they do have AC aura from the Lina illusion that the Jinkyu is creating. So having that extra minus armor, extra bit of attack speed of their own.
It's gonna be the safe play for Xtreme. They're gonna take the mid-set racks. They're gonna take the bottom set. But there's still a tier 2 tower top, and now a skewer all the way in. Shockwave, still not enough. XM pops the BKB.
XM also has AC of his own. And he got level 25 out of the previous fight, so Corrosive Haze is now undispellable. Your BKBs, your Dispersers, Manta Styles, they're not going to be doing much. Two sides of barracks. Gone.
No tier 2 take in top, so they weren't able to get the Mega Creeps. But it's close for Xtreme to pass the finish line. Get out of this Swiss stage and in to the playoffs.
Hear the roar. Polosan will scout things out this time around. Seems like they want to be using more heroes to kill that Roshan quickly. Shadowfin can TP in a couple of seconds if they don't want to finish it, and then he can be the one picking it up. Ame, ready to TP in a second. never mind. XM is going to be the new carry of the team. He also has the Zune with Quicken, so that's going to be extra 15 evasion, plus also the bigger AoE of his spells, which is really nice.
We've got 5 minutes with an Aegis to make it happen. Ame wants this Swift Blink, but they're up a lot. Can they close this one out? It was 67% to 33%. Now 82 in favor of Xtreme. But Schofield, he'll take the Shrine and then he'll bail with some extra time.
This is the dream for the support. Shadow Demon does have Ether Lance, finds Magnifying Tier 4 neutral item plus Mystical as well. So it doesn't necessarily need to be close to the fight. Also has Aeon Disc, which did just get procced.
BKB now for Whisper. That should help him survive a little bit more. It's been tough for him to engage in these fights.
Xtreme, they also have Refresher on Shadow Fiend and Refresher on Naga Siren. So potentially double Requiem combo, double BKB, double Satanic.
Take the buildings pretty quick. Take the tier 2. Sentry spotting XM, looking for the horn toss, but way off the mark. And actually getting griefed.
He got
his power. Oh, Whisper, you griefed Analog. RP, can he survive? They go to the song, and that's going to lock up Analog as well as Yuma.
Oh, man, with friends like this, you don't need enemies.
No, you really
Requiem.
don't. Requiem, Rolling Thunder. They'll try to get the Shadow Shaman, who's actually still alive. They found themselves on top of Yuma, but nobody dead yet. Finally, Schofield dies. But it's surprisingly, Analog is the one who escapes.
They do have Sentry and Obs on the hill. They see the high ground. Ame is sieging, even without Aegis. He did pop that Refresher in, making sure that he has another BKB. No need for treads, and nice dodge with the Pike.
This should be
Mega creeps.
Megas. Ooh, and a courier. But Megas, just tier 4s stand in front of them and chance in the playoffs. But who will be the hero for Heroic? It's the horn toss into the skewer, but again, the balance strike, it connects XM. He'll lose that Aegis. Can they get him again? Song, on to
Rapier
everyone.
on Lina. Courier is delivering it. Let's see.
Naga TP'd away. Balance strike comes in. Lina's gonna have a chance. XM's gonna die a second time. Naga Siren left. Naga Siren went back home. And then XM and Jinku are dead for it. And they have to bail.
We've seen this way too many times. Schofield got it with that Shadow Blade. Ame has buyback available. XXS trying to help.
Thunder though. Ethereal healing up. Ame trying to fight Yuma. Analog Zero for some help.
Refreshers in the backpack.
Rapier is not helping as they'll finally get some help from Whisper as well as KJ. They'll take out Ame. They lose Whisper Schofield, and this is going to at least be a little bit of a victory right now for Heroic. XXS on the run, maybe trying to pick up an Illusion Rune. He'll do so, but I don't know how much that's going to help him get out of this one. You look at the damage, and it's overwhelming. Xtreme, they lose 4.
Oh, Ame didn't swap in his Refresher. Maybe he could have changed things with the double BKB, another Requiem available. But this Divine Rapier that he did purchase did quite a lot. 6,000 damage in the previous fight. And now we've seen this story again so far at Wallachia, where teams are unable to close out the games when they get Mega Creeps. Boluson's doing a very good job. Illusion in every single wave.
Are Mega Creeps the curse?
These are Omega LOL creeps, apparently, because they don't do anything.
Like, cause you to have less of a chance of winning the game somehow. Amplified damage is sitting top, by the way. If anybody
They managed to stabilize. It's all about having the buybacks. Monkey doesn't have his buyback available, needs a good chunk of money.
Gold, yeah. ET. Right over to the Lotus Pool. Some renovations, not as much water to feed the Lotuses, but they do spawn and heal you up. Take back their outposts. And we're only at 47 minutes. But you never know with the Mega Creeps. How long can they hold? Can they get to tier 5s? Can they start to make Xtreme feel like maybe this game is slipping? A lot of magnifying monocles. So many monocles, you can make a couple of glasses.
I mean, sieging the tier 4 towers with this shard on Magnus, I said that it's not that good of a shard. In this situation where you're defending the base, it's actually goated. Like, also in Whisper's defense, because he cut down the tree from Monkey.
Yep.
Like, look at how big this is. It's not that easy to use. You need to, like, zoom out to see the full scale of it. And if you're blinking in, then you also need to move your camera to the side. It's really not that easy to execute if you want to go for the max range.
Actually makes skewering maybe a little bit harder. As observers, we can zoom out. But the things have quieted down. And Heroic are holding on, even with Mega Creeps pushing in. They deal all right with them. But you're not really able to commit too heavily unless you really wipe them. And they're starting to get the gold back for these buybacks, but they're short still on 4 heroes. Short 1,400 on the Lina, short 400 on the Monkey King.
And this game's definitely winnable. You have Magnus, you have Wukong's command, you have Lina with the Divine Rapier, ET as well. I don't think you can ask for like better defense overall. Maybe you could throw in Tiny, but with the whole composition of the team where you have zoning tools, you have Divine Rapier Carrier, and you have BKB piercing abilities, plus you have good amount of control as well. ET picked up the Vlads, wants to amplify the damage of his teammates.
Also up against Mega Creeps gives you some more percentage. They'll get a shard for the Shadow Demon, and that will give them that demonic cleanse. Almost has the Ags. We'll see if Xingqiu wants to commit to this.
Axe is pretty good. Like, you can break Lina, something you don't think about because it doesn't happen too often. Breaking Fiery Soul takes out a lot of her right-click damage. Monkey King as well could be pretty good. If they can lock onto a target with ET and Lina, because she's dealing like physical and magical, now she's pretty much mostly physical, seeing that there's Divine Rapier, AC, Laguna Blade, not that big of a threat at this stage of the game in terms of the magic damage. But if they can just get ET, and they definitely could with his shard available, heroes are gonna melt.
Xtreme hoping to wait for Roche. Honestly, if there's an opportunity where Roche is up and the creeps are out far enough where Heroic feel confident to defend,
I don't think they can allow themselves to leave the base. They might need to go as 5. That's like the big one, but you could also see what Poloson has been doing for the last 25, 30 minutes. He's just been pushing out the waves constantly. This is why this hero is highly contested, and on top of that, the song, double song as well. Not allowing them to get close.
Yeah, I was just thinking, because you do have a good deterrent on Roche normally with the sleep, RP, Wukong's, but up against Megas, obviously being out of the base too long is potentially devastating. Farming up a lot, getting that gold. Monkey King, he's got a lot, and they found this Naga Siren. Poloson,
can he blink out? No, lost the gem.
Uh-oh, and now that is your opportunity maybe to... I mean, Roche is soon. Any little piece that is dropped onto the ground, Heroic will eat up.
Yeah.
It's like when you're making some food and your dog's hoping for something to drop on the floor.
Begging.
Always begging. Then something drops, and before you can even look...
The key is to never stop begging from dog's perspective. Eventually, they will give you food.
Exactly.
It's the eyes, Chico.
Shrine of Wisdom for Whisper. He's almost level 25. And they are thinking about it. They're giving it a thought. Can we take Roche? They're gonna try.
They don't know what's
this
going
is a
on
quick
inside the
road.
pit.
Xtreme.
XM, he's ready to jump.
Smoke breaks,
broke.
they're out. He's onto the tree.
Full wraparound. But Roshan's gonna die. Like, Roshan's dying to pretty much snakes at this time.
Yeah. They take 3 hits. Boundless strike that lands on XM. He pops that BKB immediately. He gets the bash out. It's going to be on a Whisper. The Rolling Thunder. They get the cut of the Magnus. He'll buy back. Slither Kush comes in.
Yuma got
it's
it.
Aegis on Yuma. BKB. Thinking about the Wukongs. Now
Yuma's
look for
fighting.
Yuma. Heroic. They have a chance. Creeps aren't pushing into the base just yet. Wukongs is used. They get under the circle on the side of Xtreme. They'll start to pick up the rest of these items. Schofield gets himself the cheese, but they may have cost him his life. They'll song up Pelosi. They'll look for the Earth Splitter. RP! RP from Whisper. The balance strike. Oh, Ame's dead. He's got 99. He's got buyback. Creeps are into the base.
Creeps
they
in the
take
base.
Tier 4. You need to be careful. You need to look for your base. You've got a glyph, guys. You've got a glyph. Yuma trying to hit away at XXS. They need to retreat back to the base, and that's exactly where Monkey King is going.
XM's
as they
also
take
down.
out XM.
Oh man, what a fight from Heroic.
Schofield's still here. He's shadow bladed. He wants a chance to get somebody else. The throne now exposed. They took a long fight. It cost the tier 4s, but they have an Aegis on Yuma.
They have the opportunity now. If he dies on Shadow Fiend, this game is pretty much over. These big Wukongs, definitely harder to fight into, and Whisper with the buyback, landing a 2-man RP. You could see immediately King Jungle's using that ETLT on top of the Lina to try to stop them from getting the damage, and he's still holding the Aegis. Lina, she has quite a lot of gold as well. 5,000 gold on her.
A lot of gold, looking to build a Daedalus. Man, Whisper's RP right on point. Blinks in, gets the 2-man RP. He's right in your ear and he says, gotcha.
He really got them there.
Just whispers it right to him. And then Xtreme. I mean, that was now forced buyback on Shadow Fiend. And he's got the refresher on Whisper. They caught him the first time, but he's got a refresher. If you don't catch him the same way, he's got RPs. We have seen the Mega Creeps curse just really
They have
be
the
true.
banner, they have double Shadow Shaman wards, and they want to end this game. I think they go for tier 3 tower here and immediately onto the tier 4s.
Rolling Thunder.
He blinked in. Schofield,
Ooh,
he got
Schofield
caught.
went deep. He wanted for
No buy.
What? He wanted to drop down the Serpent Wards onto the tier 4 towers. Maybe they were just going to go through the base. Once you lose Schofield, it's time to pull that ripcord
Oh
and get
man,
out
he
of
also
there.
used Refresher as well. Didn't Ghost Scepter. Maybe with the Ghost Scepter. Uh-oh, a bit of a mistake there. Let's see how they approach it. At this point of the game, it's hard to say whether he does or he doesn't have buyback. He's also not the most farm hero in the game. Creeps are approaching. They still have Refresher available on Magnus. Skewer as well with Lens, with Monocle. I don't know if they can go.
they might want to wait. Shadow Fiend doesn't have buyback. Like, they know that they have an Aegis on the Lina. You don't have to force it. It's 5 minutes before he's got buyback available, and like you said, you lose Shadow Fiend,
Ooh, they saw Monkey.
it might be the game.
Analog. I believe they saw him.
Take the outpost. The rest of the team not nearby, retreating. Pelosin in the area. We've seen him multiple times going with the Blink song if he can find the opening.
You can definitely feel the nerves. The plan was there from Heroic. Kill the tier 3 tower, immediately double wards, ET ulti, Wukong's command, and try to kill the buildings.
Didn't work out.
Ame, his buyback coming off cooldown in a really long time. 4.5 minutes.
Minute left on this Aegis. Buybacks. You can see no mag buyback, but everybody else could have it. Shadow Shaman doesn't have the money for it. Neither does the Shadow Demon. But you can see Shadow Fiend, Ame's nowhere nearby.
Oh boy, maybe he should be, considering that if he dies, he
Now
needs
he's
to
here.
stick close to his Naga Siren. If he dies, let's see how they're going to approach this one. Oh, they smoked underneath the vision. King Jungles, he does have Observer Ward, so they know.
They need to get Whisper. He's the one that the
Schofield,
side of
smoke
Xtreme
broke.
need to go for. But Whisper, Yuma, showing with the Aegis.
20
is not the
seconds
one
on
you
that
want to go.
Aegis.
You want to wait for the timing if you can. Whisper over to the side. Can he find an RP target? He's got Refresher as well. He'll need to try and get out, but this Aegis will expire in
They're
Heroic.
drawing on a minimap. They want to push out the top lane. Polison's like, somebody take care of that. I could also be taking care of that. Mega creeps. And now Aegis expired. Whisper, he's doing the same thing. He knows they need to fix the lanes.
We were at Mega Creeps at 43-ish minutes.
Doesn't matter. Buff Mega Creeps. They're not doing anything.
And I was like, surely we don't see your tier 5s again this tournament in this game. But
It's a curse.
here we are. It's another tortoise in the hare situation. You've gotten quickly to Mega Creeps. We'll take our time. We'll beat you once or twice in a fight. And then we'll do a little shimmy, take out the throne, force a game 3. Don't say a word. Yeah, that was really close. Oof. 10, 5, and 13. And 12, 5, and 11 now for Ame. That was XM's kill line before. I mean, what is missing from Xtreme? Other than Shadow Fiend buyback, what is missing from them just being able to finish this one out?
Like, this game could go on for another 20 minutes. As long as Whisperer is alive, they do have a way to come back into the game. He doesn't have buyback, though. He is on cooldown for another minute and 30 seconds.
Stress is certainly there, especially when you're on your last leg in this Swiss stage. But they'll continue to farm. Monkey King has 4,300 surplus. XM
Can still,
Swift
like,
Blink.
Monkey needs another 15,000 gold to complete his item build. Aghanim Scepter Shard, Refresher, Buyback, and Moon Shard. So probably more.
6 slotted is not the stopping point for Monkey King. You could fill that Ags, like you said. Get 7, 8, 9, 10 slotted.
Level 30 Shadowfiend now.
Schofield, such big impact in this game. 0, 11, and 15, though, that you wouldn't know it by the KDA. But he has made some big plays happen, especially
the last one.
And Analog caught, broken, chased, and dead. 100 seconds. He's got buyback. They'll probably be able to force it.
Slardar in the late game is an insane hero. He has insane amount of status resistance with SNY, with his Aghanim Scepter. He can also still grow pretty heavily. He can eat that Ags.
Horn toss, skewer, XM away from his team, and the damage is overwhelming, but they hit the Song. Can they get the kill here out of the lead? The LSA is going to land. The Song's still into Schofield. He's going for the Requiem. That lands. RP comes through, but it's not going to be the perfect spot.
It was a nice
Whisper
fight.
now thinking about another RP. On the other side, they've got the Wukongs. Again, the circle just not connecting with these extreme heroes.
He bashed Magnus.
Nullifier, Schofield, he's in trouble, dead without buyback. A Whisper needs to leave, but another Song. Polosin, he's got to charge a mission. He's into the second set of this concert, looking to lock him up.
Lena,
But
she's fighting on the high ground from the low
Can they
ground.
take this opportunity to finish the game? They've got some creeps inside the base. Yuma from the low ground.
Ame.
LSA, XM right into the face of this Lena. RP comes out from Whisper again. They've got the refresher from Schofield.
Ame's
They
buying
kill
back.
off Ame. He's got the buyback, but Yuma ends up dying. The Divine Rapier's on the deck to kill off Whisper. A TP out from the Elder Titan as they focus their attention on XXS. They
have
got
the glyph.
the swashbuckle. They have the glyph. They'll survive. The disruption just keeps XXS
Yuma's
alive.
dead.
Yuma's dead another time. 2 minutes gone. Analog trying to hold on. There's a Divine Rapier on XM. Analog running away from this Xtreme Gaming side, but the creeps are inside
the
the
bash.
base. It's just the Elder Titan. Analog is dead, and it's all come apart here for Heroic as Xtreme. The creeps will probably do the job for them, but they've got everybody up.
They're ready to close it out. They have no glyph, and they're gonna call it.
GG called Xtreme. 61 minutes in. Almost let it fall.